but I can dig deep. All right, who else has a question? Yes. You weren't even looking at me. She just goes.
What is the most memorable, most happy, funny moment you've had during your career as an actor?
There's quite a few. I can't say that there's one. There's a lot of things that stand out. None of the things that stand out to me in my career as an actor are the things that would mean anything to most other people. You know, they're like things like to the opposite of what I was just saying. My son wanting to follow in my footsteps because he's seen what I've been able to accomplish. That's awesome. Okay? So stuff like that. Stuff like this is great. A whole bunch of people coming to sit in a room to listen to my stupid punk ass say things. Guys, I'm just just regular old idiot, you know? Things like that are super cool. You know, there's so many things that are fun and easy to love about what I do. I have people who come out here, like I say, sit here and listen to me. People who like me and people who tell me how much they love what I do, which means so much to me. But on the opposite end of that, I get a whole bunch of people who tell me that I should be fired from my job. I should also kill myself, and that I'm a terrible father, and that my children should die. So really, it's a unique little world to live in. I know everyone's really shocked because, you know, the internet's usually such a safe place. But that's the extremes, you know? I have to sit back and wrap my head around the fact that people are telling me to kill myself because they didn't like a character I played, or they don't like my voice, you know? So that's a lot of fun. But it must mean that I'm affecting people to some degree, or they wouldn't have such a passionate response, right? So I'm not gonna. So I choose to look at it in a positive light. Pollyanna this crap.
That's what I like about you, so positive.
Oh, thanks. My wife is not that happy about that aspect of my personality. Every day she's like, "Why do you have to Pollyanna everything?" Pollyanna, I prefer to think positively
It's good, Pollyanna.
instead of negatively.
You're gonna get love in the
You know, sometimes I'm negative, but anyway. All right, hold on.
Is there anything a character has said that stuck with you?
No. The reason characters, and here's why. The things, and when you say the things the characters say, you mean the things that I'm saying as a character?
Yeah.
All right. I didn't know if you meant like things I heard from other characters. Okay. The reason it doesn't, I don't retain that information is because oftentimes when I'm in a booth recording a character, I will say a line one time and I'll never hear it again. So I record, move on, record, and move on. And the way that as an audience member, you or me in the things that I watch, the way that things really land with you is usually on repeat viewings. So, you know, you can watch something once and it can mean something to you, but it's the second time or the third time that you've watched a certain anime or an episode or a show or a movie where it really starts to take on that kind of significance, where you start memorizing the lines, you know what I'm saying? And it's really hard to do that when you're only saying it once and moving on. All right, who else? Yeah.
Did any TV series or movie help inspire you to become an actor?
Yep, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the summer of 1994, 84. In the summer of 84. Actually, 1984 is just a stellar year for movies. If you guys didn't know it, right? 1984, you had Beverly Hills Cop, Ghostbusters, The Karate Kid, Footloose, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, and Real Genius, and it goes on and on. It's an amazing list of films came out that year. Well, I lived in Beaumont, Texas, where there's less to do in Beaumont, Texas than there is to do behind this screen. So if you're stuck in that boring place for years, you go to the movies. Especially because it's Beaumont, Texas. It's further south than Houston. It's kind of on the coast, but not really. It's just enough inland for it to be ridiculously humid year-round and blisteringly hot in the summer. So, where do you go? You go where it's cold, inside the movie theater. So I went to the movie theater. Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo, Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo, also 1984. So I would just go to the movies. I saw Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom 8 times that summer.
Jeez.
That's just one movie. And I remember when I was watching it, like I always loved Indiana Jones, loved Raiders of the Lost Ark, and I'm watching this second film, thinking how awesome it is, and thinking, man, I want to be an archaeologist. Now keeping in mind, when I'm watching this, I'm 10, right? So I'm thinking, that's what archaeologists do. And I'm not 10 years old now. Is there a 10-year-old in the room? Who's the youngest person here? How old are you? Yeah. You're 19. How old are you? Yeah. Okay. How old are you with the orange hoodie? 15? And the next to you? 15? Okay, let's say the 15 years old. They're the youngest ones, right? You're 12? All right, you're the youngest person in the room. Next time I ask that question, you should raise your hand first. You knew you were the youngest person here. So, you're 12 years old. 12 years old today is vastly different than 12 years old when I was 12. Because you have things like the internet and cell phones and, well, that's enough. I didn't have those things when I was 10 years old, so to me, movies and TV and the things that I was watching, they carried a little bit more a weight of reality, you know? So I go and watch Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom at 10, not knowing much about archaeology, thinking this is what archaeologists do. I hate Nazis. I don't want to fight them, right? But it turns out that's not it. And that summer, I went to the library and I read about archaeology and what it would take to become one. And I'm like, oh, they spend a lot of time in the library, and it looks pretty boring. And not one of them carries a whip. So how do we get around this? I'm like, oh, well, I just do what they're doing. They made a movie. That's not real. I can make movies. I could be an actor. And I looked into it and I'm like, that sounds awesome. And then I started doing it, and it felt incredible, and I have continued chasing that feeling until today. So yeah, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom really just single-handedly changed my life. So good. Who has not seen Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom? Like 2 people, 3, 4. Y'all are all losers. All of you should just leave now and go watch that movie. So good, you won't be disappointed. What? Look, trust me, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom is better than all of my panels combined. Okay, it's Indiana Jones. Jeez. All right, who else? Come on, we can't be done. You asked a lot. Okay, you two. Okay, so you first, and then I'll come back to you. Okay, yes, in the back.
So, is it the same way with video games with you? Like, syndrome?
What?
Will you play video games and never?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like, same thing with anime. Video games are easier because I'm not voicing video games for 20 to 40 hours a week. You know? That being said, I can't play the video games that I've worked on. You know, like I can't play Borderlands 2, mostly because I'm terrible at it. And I've tried real hard. I even got Ian Sinclair to co-op with me online to help me beat some levels. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. And he's like, that's obvious. But I do like video games, and I like a handful of them. And I'm very specific about what I want in a game, and what I want in a game is for me, it needs to be plug and play. I need to be able to turn it on, play immediately for a short period of time, and walk away with no repercussions. So playing RPGs, that's almost impossible for me. So I play things like Hitman and Battlefield, stuff like that, where it's just, I can just jump in, run a gun, and go, kill some people, let it off a little bit, and then get back to my regular life. Okay, yes?
What was your very first anime convention as a guest?
Oh, my very first anime convention as a guest was Anime Expo in Anaheim, California with Chris Sabat, and it was one of the most epic weekends ever. So there's, I didn't know Chris that well at the time. He and I had both been voicing, he'd been voicing for a while. He hired me as Trunks and directed me and taught me how to do this. So he and I had been working together for, I want to say 6 months or so, and almost every day. So we'd got to be pretty good friends at that point. And Funimation asked us to go to Anime Expo in Anaheim. And it was a smaller convention than it is now, of course. And we, Chris and I went. Actually, I flew out there early to visit with a friend of mine. And then the next day, or later that night, or whatever, I had to go pick up Sabat. I rented a car, and I had to go pick him up at the Burbank airport for whatever reason. I drove all the way out to Burbank, and I picked him up, and it's in the evening, and and then this happens. We're driving, and we're talking, and he's like, "Hey man, I don't know if you dig like live music or stuff. Do you like that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I like live music, sure." And he goes, "Well, there's this band that's playing tonight, and the name of the band is Ween." And I'm like, he goes, "Do you know them?" And I'm like, "Ween is my favorite band." So yeah, I know Ween. And he goes, "They're playing," and we don't know, keep in mind, we don't know anything about Los Angeles at the time. And I'm driving, and he goes, "They're playing in some place called Pomona?" And I'm like, "Pomona?" And I point, and there's the sign that says, "Pomona, city limits." And I'm like, "Exit!" And I just take the first exit. I loop around and pull right into the venue where the band is playing.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, did that just happen? We just arbitrarily take an exit and we are at the venue of the band that you just mentioned, who also happens to be my favorite band of all time? And he's like, "Yeah!" And get out. Ran inside, watched Ween play, and then went and got fat burgers and went back to our hotel room. Slept in a very gassy room that night.
Oh, God.
And then the next day, we had our first signing, and I remember the shirt I was wearing even, and I had a video camera with me because I was like, I want to videotape everything and see what it's like. And we got to the table, and there's a bunch of crap that doesn't matter, but we get to the table, and there's like 3,000 people in line. And it goes all the way around the con, out the side. And we're like, wow, what are those people here for?
They're for
And
you.
they're like, the guy's like, they're all here to see you
Yeah, like
guys.
Chuck.
We're like,
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So we sit down, and it's just boom, 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 just signing. It was just a blistering experience. Just what is going on, So my first day ever signing autographs out of the gate was at this massive con for over 3,000 people, and I had no idea what I was doing, what I was getting into, or anything. But it was